Opposition leader Alan CHASTANET has vehemently criticized the current government's handling of the funds generated from the Citizenship by Investment Program (CIP). This criticism comes in the wake of Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre's recent presentation of the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the fiscal year 2024-2025, during which he detailed the contribution of the CIP to the nation's revenue generation.
More than half of the CIP money went into recurrent expenditure. We're all happy with that.
In the projected outturn for this year, 2023-2024, the CIP contributed directly to revenue 45 million. Mr. Speaker, as compared to the approved estimates of 90 million. Mr. Speaker, the reason for the difference between the approved estimates and projected outturn for 2023-24 is due to an increase in demand for the real estate option rather than donations that go directly into the National Economic Fund or government bond options. Mr. Speaker, 64.1 million was received by the National Economic Fund. From that amount, 45 million was transferred directly into revenue. The balance is available for use according to the objectives of the fund.
CHASTANET questioned the efficacy and transparency of the government's utilization of the CIP funds.
Prime Minister had announced that DSH is a CIP project, and he had said that he would be upfronting monies and then he would get it back at the back end from CIP. We were also told, and every time we have a debate in this house on CIP.
Standing on the point of order again, the member is again trying to mislead the House. DSH, and we've repeatedly said that, is not an approved CIP project and has not even put in an application to be a CIP project. DSH, and we've repeatedly said that, is not an approved CIP project and has not even put in an application to be a CIP project. DSH, and we've repeatedly said that, is not an approved CIP project and has not even put in an application to be a CIP project. And so therefore, again, I would like him to please correct that statement.
So the whole construction of the race course and so on is not going to be paid out of proceeds from passports or anything like that?
It will, but not at this point.
I don't understand.
So the developer is upfronting the money and proceeding with the development.
He's funding his own money now?
Correct.
So does that mean at some time that money will be returned to him, or what does it mean?
At some time, he'll be able to use some of the funds from the CIP monies to be able to offset on the investment he's made.
We have made it clear that DSH is not a part of the CIP program.
DSH, and we've repeatedly said that, is not an approved CIP project.
Monies will then be reimbursed through the CIP program.
So the Minister of Finance should tell us how much is held by T.O.R. King in his escrow account on behalf of the government and people of St. Lucia from the sale of our passports. Zero. And is Invest St. Lucia holding any funds on behalf of the government of St. Lucia in overseas accounts from the sale of passports, and if so, how much? Zero.
Minister with responsibility for tourism, Dominic Fede, has refuted claims by opposition spokesman on investment, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, that the government agreed to an alleged $20 million settlement with Dubai-based investment firm Range Developments.
The government of St. Lucia did not pay $20 million or is planning to pay $20 million to settle the Range amicable settlement. It is to be noted that the settlement between Range and the government is actually going to cost the government a net gain of about 21.6 million Eastern Caribbean dollars. To the contrary.
Fede did confirm a settlement with Range Developments is on the table after the company prematurely pulled out of St. Lucia. Fede says Range Developments sold between 14 to 20 million in St. Lucian passports before the deal fell through. St. Lucia CIP, according to Fede, is paying out commission to Range Developments from the passport sales. Range Developments is also entitled to a refund for the lands purchased for the ill-fated Ritz-Carlton Hotel project, which was earmarked for construction in Black Bay VF4.
Indirect economic impact of the hotel will be felt across St. Lucia, with twice this number of people being employed supporting the hotel operations. It's core to us, it's part of our ethos to ensure that the economic impact of this hotel is not just felt on the 40-acre site. We really want the whole island to benefit from the economic impact that this hotel will create. And we're here to work with the local communities, the wider communities, to ensure they can benefit from the hotel to the fullest potential. We will have failed in our endeavors if this hotel is not staffed at the highest level with individuals from St. Lucia, and is not being an integral part of the economy, both of the south of the island and across the island.
Prime Minister Alan Chastanet expressed that he is pleased with the project coming on stream. He said there have been many advancements in St. Lucia's development on an international scale.
Prime Minister Alan Chastanet admits that there were missteps in the Citizenship by Investment Program aspect of the Black Bay Master Development Project in Black Bay View Fort by Range Developments. Critics allege that changes to the CIP by the current UWP administration may have unwittingly placed the investors at a disadvantage. It all centers on the real estate option, given the decision to reduce the minimum investment requirement for CIP approval to $100,000. Reports indicate that the investors are now on the fence. During his rebuttal on the appropriations bill, the Prime Minister issued a mea culpa of sorts.
Because of those administrative difficulties, we have had to put a pause on the Ritz-Carlton project, and we're hoping that in July that the developer and ourselves are going to be able to sit back down to restart the project.
We are in discussions with Range, and I would say to you that the chances are that the Range project with Range may not proceed. Within the next 21 days that we will know whether that has been finalized or not. But the good news is that we have a lot of other developers waiting in the line for the Black Bay project.
We start tonight with a development in the Black Bay land saga. According to a June 28th article by the Investment Migration Insider, Range Development, the company involved in the Black Bay Hotel project, has issued an ultimatum to the government of St. Lucia. Pay up the money invested or expect a lawsuit. Joachim Duplessis begins our reporting this evening.
Range Developments is pulling out of St. Lucia, but not before recouping every investment dollar put in on the ill-fated Ritz-Carlton Hotel project, which was earmarked for construction in Black Bay.
We also had learned that in pursuance of the agreement with Range, the developer had brought in about 250 CIP applicants. Given each donation is US $100,000 and less commissions, the developer expected about $20 million US to be available. We asked then, why was the money not available to the developer? And of course, where is the CIP money?
I also need to tell you that it's actually going to cost the government a net gain of about 21.6 million Eastern Caribbean dollars.
Remember the time. Chastanet hinted at a review of the publication of names.
We should recognize that if somebody's applying to be a citizen here, and no fault of theirs, that they're rejected for whatever reason, because there could be a multitude of reasons why they're rejected, I think having to publicize those people's names, which is in fact the regulation now, is something that we would have to give serious consideration to, because none of the other islands do that. But in our case, we have, and it is something, my understanding is that the CIP board themselves will be reviewing.